Hello and welcome to another episode of Another Look, the post-Camping for Hunger edition, episode number 26.
26?
26.
That's more than 2 dozen.
You know, but it's getting less and less special because every new episode now we say 27, 28, 29.
Well, let people know that there are other episodes out there.
Yeah, that's true.
That if this is their first one, they're just discovering us.
Yeah, and there's 25 other episodes. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about.
Some of them better than others. Some of them really, really good.
Yeah.
Some of them,
It all depends on our Friday delirium. But Janet, since we're sitting here and since you've already reviewed this on the Valley Today with Larry Elliott, why don't you tell the folks how we did on Camping for Hunger?
Outstanding.
Outstanding. And
we fed everybody.
Summarize what Camping for Hunger is really quickly in case someone's listening
so this
in
was
India and doesn't know what we do.
They can get food in Warren County. They're going to come rolling up. They're not going to get across the border, but that's a whole other thing.
Oh, God. Oh, zing.
Yeah, so this was our 10th year. Basically, we take a hollowed-out school bus, we park it down the street in the Royal Plaza Shopping Center, and we sleep on it, we eat on it, we broadcast live from it for 24 hours a day for 5 straight days. We take it down on Monday morning.
On it.
We really do. We freeze on it. Mm-hmm. You know, we scream and cuss and carry on it.
Cage fight on it.
From Monday morning at 8 a.m. until Saturday morning at about 8 a.m. And the community comes through. They drive through. They hand us bags of bags of bags. Cans of bags of
stuff. Yeah. And non-perishables.
Yes.
We need those really badly too. Lots of stuff. And it was just stacking up.
Yeah.
And I think, first of all, I think the volunteers did a great job of packing it all tightly into the bus. But I think we're also very can heavy, and we did phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, laundry detergent. So here was the thing that didn't occur to me. That stuff is heavy, and we got cases and cases and cases of laundry detergent.
It's not even liquid. Like if we just packed the bus with water, that'd be heavy enough. But it's like thick water. It's like syrup. Yeah, heavy liquid. So we did really well. I'm really proud of us. And
set a new record. We collected 45,820 pounds of food. So I think that's a little over 22 tons, and over $8,000.57.
Wow.
Which was more than last year as well.
I mean, just incredible. Yeah. It just meant so much to be a part of that too. And this is my first real year, I think, on the Camping for Hunger bus. And it was a struggle. It was a really hard week. It was a long week.
Yeah. And what happened at the end of it? What did we tell you would come? This was your first year.
Oh, well.
And then you're like, I used to worry and stress about this. And now it's we've lived through Camping for Hunger. No, because Camping for Hunger breaks your give a shit.
Yeah, it did. Give a shit is broken officially. I don't care anymore. There is no challenge that's insurmountable because there's no challenge that's really worthwhile at all anyway. It's all just.
We had equipment malfunctions. We had a freezing rainstorm, ice and snow, which was the first time that's ever happened.
Yes.
We had people that said they would volunteer that didn't show up. We had guests that came late. I mean, anything and everything that could theoretically go wrong that week did, and we still collected 22 tons of food and $8,000.
It teaches your psyche that no matter what, chances are something's going to go wrong if it can.
Yeah.
So you just have to plug away, do your job, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And so that's the moment we got in. And the other thing, which I didn't know about, but Kathy told me, this is the thing after Camping for Hunger that I noticed on Monday morning was my Popeye with the spinach moment. Monday was like nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, bring it on. Because after Camping for Hunger, it's like I'd been weight training, and all of a sudden they took the weights off my back, and I'm running just faster than I ever run before. The news and noon was so easy to do.
Yeah. I rolled in here Monday to do the show and had to stop and think for a minute. Okay, what do I do?
Yeah, there's a little amnesia that comes with getting back into the normal routine. It was crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I had a good time.
And your video, phenomenal. It's on our Facebook page. Your video was great, and so I sent it over to Lonnie to look at before I sent it to anybody or put it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. His first question was, will there be an extended mix? He wants more.
Yeah, I know. He said something like that to me this morning. He was saying something about, is there going to be a full video of us getting the bus ready?
There may be a movie.
Yeah, we might get a movie, sort of like the, kind of on par with the Rugrats movie.
Yeah, well, you're a documentarian. How long does something have to be in order for it to be considered a short? Could it be 6 minutes and have it be a short and then it covers the entire journey through the week?
I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, with documentaries, there's not
Well, they're never
too much
short.
in terms of like a rule. Well, yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, I don't know. There's not really a rule for it with the documentaries. It's more kind of restricted with like, I know in terms of like fiction film for a short film, generally you want it under like 10 pages or so, which is about like, 8 minutes, something like that.
So we could do that. I know your dad would be very happy.
Well, I know, but why are we spending? Yeah, but why are we spending the time on the Camping for Hunger Bus film when we have we could make a real art house film? I'm talking like black and white, long shadows.
Hey, if you would read your emails.
Oh yeah,
I sent you an email this morning.
Oh, did you really?
Asking you about whether or not we need a trailer.
What time this morning?
For another look. It was after I got here, so it wasn't even morning.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because I read a podcasting article that said podcasts do better if they have trailers.
Trailers?
So we need to create a trailer for another look.
It's not enough hours in the day, Jan. Even making.
How old are you? You're like 12. How could you be tired? I do not understand how you are tired.
Oh, God.
You're not old enough to be tired.
I wake up at 4 a.m., man, and do this job every day.
Oh,
You'll get tired. Believe me.
I do get tired, but I am also probably, 3 times your age practically?
With the amount of coffee you drink, though.
Yeah.
You should just be like a crackhead all the time.
Wait a minute. What was that? That was, hang on. Oh, I don't have it written down on this piece of paper. 14,600 cups in a year.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that what I don't think I have that piece
That's
of paper.
That's right. In a staff meeting, we were calculating how long we spent, portions of our life doing certain things every single day. And the coffee section got scary for Janice. She drags it down to do. But okay, before we go down any more rabbit holes here, wait, what are we talking about today?
All right, I have. So, this is a news show.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, sometimes it is.
Judge plans to recuse self in Front Royal EDA director lawsuit, and Warren County high school student arrested for school threat. Those are my two big things because, quite frankly, I am tired and I don't want to talk about a bunch of news. And it's a short week and there wasn't a lot of news going on other than people overdosing on turkey.
And Lonnie's got work to do in the production.
And Lonnie's
story.
got work to do in the production.
So yeah, we got to clear some space here. But I want to talk about 2 stories that didn't make it on the website. And
sandbagger.
I saved the good stuff for myself for the show. One of them was a drive-by shooting that took place in Winchester.
That freaks me out because that's all you've told me. So I have no idea what the rest of that is.
Yeah,
so I'm curious to hear what that is.
I'll let you guys know where it took place and the details and everything. But another one was very interesting. The practice of swatting occurred in Winchester as well. If you don't know what that is, stick around and we'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a secret.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. So when we get back, we will talk judge recusing himself in the EDA director thing. We will talk this kid that made a fake threat to Warren County High School. And we're going to talk about this drive-by shooting and this swatting thing. What is swatting? We'll find out when we come back with some more Another Look.
It's an award-winning lunch hour every day at noon with the News at Noon and Valley Today. Listen live on air, online, or on demand at theriver953.com. That's theriver953.com.
Hello, it's Janet again. In addition to producing podcasts for the River 953 and our clients, I also host a show every weekday on the air from 12:30 till 1 called The Valley Today. It's a community conversation where I chat with local business owners, nonprofits, government agencies, and residents about what's happening up and down the Shenandoah Valley. You can hear the show live each day on the radio, you can listen live from our website, or you can listen to the podcast of the show each afternoon on our website at theriver953.com from the Valley Today page. You can even subscribe to the podcast in the Apple Podcast app or the Google Play Music Store and have it delivered directly to your phone once it's published. So join me for a conversation this week. And if you're interested in being a guest or advertising in that podcast, send me an email to janet@theriver953.com. And now, back to the podcast.
And we're back with some more Another Look. We're going to just laser fire through these stories because we got some exciting ones here. It's a lot of action, not that much substance really at the end of the day, but yeah, I mean a lot of sexy headlines going on right now.
Okay, so it just occurred to me when we opened up this segment, you didn't say who we were.
Did I open Another Look?
We kind of glossed right on over that because you're tired. You've been up since 4 a.m.
If we have listeners that are listening to episode 26, chances are I hope they're a loyal listener. I hope we have.
They may just be discovering us. Have I taught you nothing about podcasts?
Oh,
Do you know how many people this week I told that we have a podcast and they probably didn't go to the website to listen to the other ones, although we do have some.
All right. Hold on.
So who are you and why are you here?
All right, hold on. And welcome back to another episode of Another Look. My name is still Nicholls. I'm your news director here at the River 95.3 and Sports Radio 1450. She is Janet Michael, host of the award-winning Valley Today. Janet, how are you?
I am doing well, Dylan. Thank you so much for asking.
All right, what's your freaking story?
Your mother is probably dying right now as she's listening to this, thinking, one of these days, Dylan's going to come home with a black eye, and I'm going to know how it happened.
Yeah.
And as much as I love my son, I'm going to think maybe he was justified.
Oh, yeah. What do you got, Janet?
All right, so let's talk about this lawsuit.
Let's do it.
So a judge is recusing himself in a lawsuit that has been filed by a sitting Warren County Board of Supervisor, Tom Sayer, who is suing Front Royal Economic Development Authority Director Jennifer McDonald.
This is like a tricky thing. This has kind of been developing on the show for a little bit. We've talked about the lawsuit before, but we've also talked about the charges that were against Jennifer McDonald that have recently actually been dismissed by a judge. The lawsuit is related to those charges, and those charges were for filing a false police report. Mm-hmm. Jennifer McDonald was accused of misleading police when she reported that somebody had basically vandalized her house by throwing a rock at her front door window. And a note was attached to the rock or left near the rock or something like that. The problem is that she told police about this like in the afternoon, and a few hours earlier, she had actually told the Royal Examiner reporter Roger Bianchini that it had happened. And then hours later, she actually calls police and says, "Oh my goodness, it just happened." Yeah. That's what was alleged against her. Now, the problem with all this was it's like hard to explain. But essentially, Virginia State Police had to like step in and investigate it. And the number that was on the note, that the handwritten note that came with the rock, was Tom Sayer's number, I believe, was on there, and I believe also a former town manager's number,
Michael Graham, who was a town manager years ago here in Front Royal.
It's just like there's some sketchy politics stuff going on in there. The judge ended up dismissing it just because he said mainly for a lack of evidence, and he also cited Jennifer McDonald's own sense of self-interest as a reason why she wouldn't have done this in the first place, because it just simply does not make sense.
Well, she's not going to look good. So, because, that's a deterrent for all crime.
That's true. Officer, why did he drunkenly hijack a car while naked?
Didn't he know that wasn't going to look good when it came out in the papers? Oh, he did. Maybe he didn't do that then. Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't inside the courtroom, so I can't say what exact arguments the judge made. But the charges were dismissed, but Tom Sayer sued Jennifer McDonald
in civil court.
It's a defamation lawsuit. He said that he's lost sleep over the things that she said about him. In the courtroom when her charges were dismissed, the judge said, or someone asked, like, do you have any idea who might have written the note or why your numbers might have been on the note? And they said, because she wrote the note, and she put her numbers on the note, the former town manager and Tom Sayer. So now Tom is maintaining his lawsuit despite the charges being dropped, the charges against Jennifer McDonald being dropped, and we're going to have to see what happens.
Yep, but the judge agreed he should recuse himself because Tom is a current sitting supervisor. Jennifer is still employed. She is still the director of the EDA, and he is a Front Royal judge who also handled the criminal case. Yeah. So it's probably in all reality, the judge is the smartest guy in all of this. He knew he didn't want any parts of this. Yeah. So he's like, you know what? You don't even have to ask me twice. I'm out.
Wait, and I think it's pretty much standard practice as well. But it's good that he did it. Good that he got out ahead of that. So we're going to have to see how that goes. I'm almost getting bored of this political scandal.
I'm telling you, I'm just waiting for, the Bravo production crew to show up in town, and the next thing you know, we've got ourselves it wouldn't really be a Real Housewives of Front Royal, although we did, because we had the Real Housewives of DC, and they featured the Salahis who lived just down the road, and that was only one season, and then they got into trouble, and Bravo never came back to town.
I'm thinking more of like a Lifetime movie, like a dramatized, like Rob Lowe plays Tom Sayer.
Hey, no. Well, that would probably be the only thing that would make me think Tom Sayer isn't as annoying as he is. But
Janet, be nice.
I don't have to. I didn't vote for him. He's not my supervisor.
Not my supervisor.
You've heard what I said about my own supervisor. So, I mean,
that's true.
that's a low bar.
You're at war with everyone, man. Machine gun blazing.
So what do you got? Tell me about this drive-by.
Well, the drive-by shooting. So, okay, I'll tell you where it happened. Brooklyn Heights Development. That's in 200 block of Parkside Drive.
I know where that is.
Townhouse development.
Yes.
So basically what happened was it happened last Friday night. It happened. Bullets were fired around 11:10 p.m. They struck 4 vehicles and 2 townhouses. It's under investigation. I'm not sure who they could have been aiming at or who they could actually been targeting, but you would assume it was a drug-related thing or something like that.
Probably.
They don't have much information on it, but what they ended up finding were 13 shell cases in all. 10 of them were fired from a .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol. Another 3 were fired from a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. It was really interesting because one of the articles I read about it was, there was a parent living there that they got a quote from. And it's a terrifying thing. It really is. In all, 4 vehicles were struck. 2 townhouses were struck by bullets. And it's freaky.
Now, do they have any idea? I mean, did they get the make and model or a license plate number? Do they have any?
All that they're releasing right now is that witnesses saw a white vehicle leave the scene. And reports didn't even indicate whether it was a sedan or SUV or what.
Don't you drive a white vehicle?
So what else do you have? What else?
But that's scary. That's scary. That's freaky because you see this stuff. You turn on the news and you see it happening in D.C., in Northern Virginia, in California, all over the country, and you think, that kind of stuff. Winchester is still way far removed from that, but
not as far as you would
apparently
think.
not. And maybe if these people wouldn't keep these handguns in their cars and not lock their cars in their driveways, some of these guns wouldn't even get into the hands of some of these people.
Well, and that's
not that this has anything to do with that, but any opportunity.
But it kind of could have to do with that. I mean, because a lot of guns have been stolen in the past year from unlocked vehicles. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office has been very vocal about, you need to keep your handguns inside your house or at least lock your cars, but it's ill-advised to keep your handgun in your car at night when it's unguarded. So, I mean, it's just kind of systematic of like a problem there's been a rash of car thefts. Mm-hmm. Winchester's now started they're calling it the Combat the Cat campaign. Playing off the idea of like the what's the word I'm looking for? The cat burglar. So and they're focusing their campaign on vehicle thefts. They're releasing videos on their Facebook page and everything, and trying to make people aware like what they can do to prevent it because it's becoming a real problem. And you can't. There's no evidence or anything to connect this to that, but it's all sort of connected in the ecosystem. And it very well could have been some stolen from a car, for all we know, because there are 2 pistols there. That's the problem that we're having. So.
Well, so speaking of shooters,
okay,
and people just being irresponsible. Let's talk about this Warren County High School kid who apparently started a rumor. He didn't actually say he was going to come shoot up a school or that a friend was. He started a rumor that somebody was going to. What's that all about?
This depresses me so much. This really does. Basically, his name was Nick Moon, I believe, and he's 18 years old. So he can be charged, and he as an adult, he can be charged. He's a senior at Warren County High School, and essentially what he ended up doing was, it was unclear exactly where the threats originated from. They just said that they were discovered on. Well, when I spoke to police in email, they said that, I might be mixing up threats, actually, because this has been happening for a little bit. But essentially, the latest reports are basically that there was a group chat, and that Nick Moon was a part of this group chat. And in the group chat, he indicated that somebody named Austin was going to shoot up a school. And of course, we can't, even if we knew which Austin was, we couldn't release the last name. So, and he basically, you have the quote there, right?
Let's see. The complaint came in. The threat was circulating on Snapchat. No quotes.
No quotes on that one?
You've really
that's the early
shoddy reporting, I have to say.
That's the early version. I posted an update, but
what?
Yeah,
okay, well, I just printed these a little while ago, and that's the only one that I saw that said anything.
I will post the update because I just reported on the update, but I must not have posted it yet. But basically, the report. Basically, he indicated that a student named Austin was going to shoot up the school, and he said, "I'd be careful if I were y'all," in the group text. He said y'all, it's a quote. And So people were really freaked out. They reported it to authorities at around 10 p.m. the night before. And so that morning, law enforcement was there like 7:15. And within an hour, they determined that it was Nick Moon, determined that there was no actual threat and that he didn't actually mean it and there was a false threat, they had him arrested by 8:15.
Wow.
RSW Regional Jail, no bond, and he was being held there as of I want to say as of Friday he was being held there, but I'm not positive on that. Oh no, I'm sorry. As of Wednesday, this happened Tuesday. I'm getting this mixed up with the drive-by shooting. This happened to a lot of shooting stuff going on.
Shootings.
This incident happened Tuesday. As of Wednesday, he was being held without bond in RSW Regional Jail. I'm not sure if he's out yet or what exactly is going on there. But it really, like, this depresses me a lot because
and we've talked about this.
This is an instance where he did it for attention or to be mischievous. It wasn't right. It's very serious what he did, but it's a felony.
Yeah.
And a felony on his adult record is going to wreck the rest of the foreseeable future for him. And the rest of his friends are going to be going to college, and this kid's going to be sitting in RSW Regional Jail, get out, and not be able to get a job.
Yeah.
And it's just depressing because it's just... It was the stupidest idea he ever had in his life, and all it took was one text, and now he's behind bars.
Well, and you mentioned that they were having this group chat on Snapchat, and I keep saying over and over and over again. I have said this since my son, however many years ago, said, "Hey, Mom, let me show you this cool new app called Snapchat." It disappears in 10 seconds.
Yep.
Clearly, it doesn't disappear. That stuff is still on there. So it may not be accessible for me to see something you snap me, but it's still out there, and it doesn't prevent me from screenshotting it. It may tell you, hey, Janet screenshotted your snap, but you can't get it off my phone. I mean, that's...
And so that's the thing is, like, it's all kind of stored in there no matter what.
Right.
And they have ways of getting at it, but because it does feel, like, impermanent, it frees, especially kids...
Yes.
Up to say whatever they want, whatever they wouldn't risk texting someone else, or whatever they wouldn't risk Facebook messaging.
Yeah.
Everything else
Anything
on the
that
internet
might leave a trace, so to speak.
Yeah, everyone else on the internet. I mean, the younger generation, they sort of everything on the internet has a sort of feel to them. It comes with a sort of feel, and Snapchat has that sort of like mischievous kind of it's not real feel to it. And even the logo is a ghost.
Oh yeah.
And so when it's all said and done, that's where the worst stuff happens.
It's never.
It had never connected in your. Yeah, no, that's why it is.
Duh.
That's why it is.
Okay, yeah, because I only use Snapchat for the Bitmojis.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the only thing I use them for because I have no use for any of that other nonsense.
I hardly use Snapchat at all, but it's it's problematic.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily Snapchat's fault. It's an interesting idea, and I don't think it was intended for the worst things that it's been used for.
Right. Well, neither was Facebook, and look what kind of shape it's in now.
Well,
I mean,
it's
that's
true.
You create these things because technology allows you to be able to do that, and in their best form, they are amazing, wonderful tools. But you don't go into those a lot of times thinking, okay, what are they going to be in their worst form? And that's what this is a good example of.
Yeah, it all comes down to just sort of. I'm not saying you have to regulate the crap out of these social media platforms, but it's tough because we do need to make sure there's responsible usage, and how do we hold each other accountable while keeping them as free as possible? It's an interesting issue.
Well, and that's where and this kid's 18, so I mean, there's that gray area too. But this is where parents. You know, and I've been on that soapbox on this show many a time. This is where parents have a responsibility to know what their kids are doing, who they're saying it to, what they're saying, and on what social media apps are they doing it on. And
very true.
It's a sad, sad world, Dylan.
Sad world. Speaking of a sad world, there's an epidemic in America.
Okay. Oh, we're going to talk about that in the...
And it's called... No, not that epidemic. There's another epidemic coming in the next segment. But this epidemic is called swatting. Have you heard of this?
I have.
Okay. Explain to me in your own words what it is.
Basically, it's where somebody calls the police, and I call the police and say, hey, my friend Dylan lives at 123 Street Drive, and he has a ton of guns, and he is threatening to go shoot up a school or do something. You've got to get over there right away. And they basically call in the SWAT team, and all of the troops surround your house to prevent you from going to do this bad thing that I have told them you're going to do. You might not be home. Mm-hmm. It's probably not even true, But that's the whole circus.
Well,
of it all.
they have to react if they think there's
Right.
a chance that this threat is present, and basically the key to it is being able to remain anonymous as you make the
Right.
accusation, because otherwise then you can be held accountable for the accusation you make. So what this person ended up doing was this person actually cloned a homeowner's phone in the Winchester area. This person lives in Hillman Drive in the 600 block, and they cloned their phone so that it actually looks like the call was coming from inside the house. And then the man told authorities over the phone that, yep, I live in this house. I've just killed my wife, and I'm now barricaded inside the home. So naturally, they freak out. They all mobilize. They're surrounding the home, trying to get information about it as they're doing that. Quick response. And they're all assembled there, and they get in. They grab the guy out of his home at gunpoint, handcuff him, search the residence, and that's when they discover that it had been a prank and his wife was actually alive and at work the entire time.
So imagine that guy. Imagine being that guy when SWAT comes through your house. I mean, I'm picturing
Terrified.
Christmas Vacation.
And how appropriate. We've started our Christmas noontime
But I mean,
Christmas
just
show.
imagine sitting in your home watching television, and here they come, and
Freaky.
yeah, it is
Freaky.
the worst kind of a prank. Now, so does that mean since he cloned the homeowner's phone, they're never going to know who did this?
Well, I don't know what technology they have or how exactly they combat that. I don't know what they need to confirm how the guy cloned the phone or whether or not it came from another phone. I don't know exactly how that technology works. All I know is that swatting it's classified as a misdemeanor, and if this guy is caught that did it, he will end up paying a fine or going to jail.
Well, and from what I get, and again, this is another one of those situations where you see this happening in, I think, one of the senators. So there was a senator or something, maybe it was a congressman in the last couple of months had this happen to them. They got swatted. But you see this in your larger cities, and now look, it's come to Winchester.
And this is where I hate to bring this up, but the Amazon HQ.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about that. We've heard some people conflicted about it. I think of all the local and state leaders, Wexton was the most conflicted because she's, the congressional representative now, and we're in
How do
January.
you weigh the jobs and the economic boost it's going to do with the quality of life and types of people it may attract?
Well, and it's just for her, it's mostly like there is that element as well, and there's also an element of. Because I don't honestly see anyone living in Winchester necessarily commuting to Crystal City. That would be hard to do every single day, but it still will take a toll on their infrastructure overall and their housing overall, and they're going to have a tough time keeping up with no matter what. You can't stop a population movement from happening when a development like that comes close. With those booms come stuff like this. Yeah. Everyone's closer together.
I mean.
But you got to wonder if there's a personal grudge going on here too.
It's got to be. Well, and that I would imagine be the first line of investigation is, okay, so who didn't like this guy?
Right. Well,
what did he do
That's
for
what
a
you
living?
do.
Was he a teacher and he gave a student a bad grade? Was he a boss that fired somebody recently? Was it, the father of a girl who said you can't date that boy anymore? I mean, there's so many options out there.
Yep.
I just came up with 3 of them.
Oddly specific ones
I know,
too.
right?
It's almost like Janet knows something about this.
I don't know where it happened.
Well, it's probably a good point for a break. But when we come back, we talked about the epidemic of swatting.
Yeah.
Now we have to talk about a different epidemic. This is kind of doubling as our dumb news right now. It's just one story that we're going to hit. We're kind of doing a truncated another look today. But
yeah, you're going to go put on use some hand sanitizer before we come back and do this next story. I'm concerned sitting across the desk.
And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to take a bath in it. And if you're wondering what we're talking about, stick around and we'll be back soon with some more Another Look.
Hello, Hello, it's Janet again. In addition to producing podcasts for the River 953 and our clients, I also host a show every weekday on the air from 12:30 till 1 called The Valley Today. It's a community conversation where I chat with local business owners, nonprofits, government agencies, and residents about what's happening up and down the Shenandoah Valley. You can hear the show live each day on the radio, you can listen live from our website, or you can listen to the podcast of the show each afternoon on our website at theriver953.com from the Valley Today page. You can even subscribe to the podcast in the Apple Podcast app or the Google Play Music Store and have it delivered directly to your phone once it's published. So join me for a conversation this week. And if you're interested in being a guest or advertising in that podcast, send me an email to janet@theriver953.com. And now, back to the podcast.
It's an award-winning lunch hour every day at noon with the News at Noon and Valley Today. Listen live on air, online, or on demand at theriver953.com. That's theriver953.com.
Hello and welcome back to another look, our News and Review podcast, where we're reviewing now for our truncated Another Look episode. Some dumb news.
This is just scary news. Maybe dumb isn't for this particular segment on this particular week. We should probably eliminate the dumb news and have it be the scary news.
I mean, but it just seems like unthinkable, crazy. Like, I don't get this.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And I want you to go back in time to Wednesday.
Yeah.
And you're almost done for the day.
Yeah.
You've got almost everything finished. You're excited. You're going to have Thursday off. It's a holiday.
Yeah.
You're going to get to spend time with your family. And then you check your email one last time before you go.
Yep.
And here comes a press release from the Lord Fairfax Health District.
And I think that's a fun bunch of fellas.
Yeah.
Let's see what they got to say.
They're probably just going to say, don't eat too much turkey.
Yeah, maybe Bob's like, look out for tryptophan this year. Maybe.
Yeah, there's still flu shots left.
Yeah, maybe my boy Jim over there is like, watch out, cold season, buddy.
Yeah.
Something fun like that.
But no, that's not what it's about.
The midway point between my house and this station where I work is a little gas station called the Apple Mountain Exxon in Linden.
Right next to the Apple House.
Right next.
Not affiliated with the Apple House in any way, shape, or form, but it shares a parking lot with the Apple House.
Kind of.
You can cut across. I know how to cut across.
Don't we talk every day about not jaywalking and how dangerous
No, because it's not actually on the road. Or is the Exxon across the street?
The Exxon's across the street.
Oh, I thought it was the little gas station that's in the same parking lot.
No, that's a 7-Eleven.
I
see what you're thinking
there
now.
You go.
No. This is an even more gorgeous gas station.
Well, now that I have, successfully told people fake news.
Fake news.
You go, continue.
Oh, that Apple Mountain Exxon may have exposed customers to hepatitis A, the old Hep A.
And not just any customer. You, customer.
All right, so I'm worried because the dates that they're saying, basically they're saying that this Apple Mountain Exxon on John Marshall Highway has a deli guy diagnosed with hepatitis A. This guy makes deli sandwiches. This guy's making all the made-to-order, ready-to-go food. But chances are, if you have an egg salad sandwich there, which sometimes I do, but not during this time period, but sometimes, this guy's touched the food.
First of all, we need to talk about buying deli sandwiches and egg salad sandwiches anywhere other than in your own personal kitchen. Because that in and of itself, you're setting yourself up for a problem.
I know.
And I say that when Kathy brings them in here 3 times a week, but still.
God, I hope she does. No, she's on the other side. But anyways, so they're warning that this guy was working from November 11th through November 20th. And so anyone who ordered made to order food may have been affected. I did not order made to order food during that time period, but I went in for a Snapple. They say, I'm really worried now because they say the Hep A is extremely contagious. It's usually transferred through food or drink, but it could be transferred through contact. And I don't know
Yeah, because what did Liz say today? That the hep virus stays alive for up to 16 hours on surfaces?
I don't know if she's making that up or not. I looked at her to look for a signal that she was joking.
No, she wouldn't joke about that.
Oh,
she would, but you would know she was joking.
Yeah,
she was very serious.
That's true. And so here's the thing too: is like
she's our resident doctor, so she knows all of that stuff.
She's got the knowledge. Now the thing that Kathy's always saying to us too is other duties as assigned when we're working here. Now if Kathy was running that gas station, the deli guy would be out loading Snapples like that. I mean, he'd be out there so quick. So I'm wondering if we got like a Kathy running that Exxon. If this guy's hands got on the Snapple, or if this guy was redirected, hey, can you run the register for a little bit? I'm going to go take my smoke break. Yeah, sure. Hey, you look a little jaundiced today. Is everything okay? No, I'm fine. I'll run the register. You go take your smoke break. So... you don't know.
My skin turns this color every fall, like the leaves on the trees.
You don't know. So now I'm like sitting here trying to remember the face of the person that I exchanged money with, and half of me wants to go back in there and sort of see, because I go in there like a lot just to pick up a bag of chips on my way home or like a Snapple or whatever. So now I want to see who's missing, and see do I remember him on that or her on that day, and I've got one person in mind. I'm not gonna say who, but I've got one person.
Do you know their name?
No, but I know what they look like.
Because I go to the 7-Eleven down here on John Marshall 2 or 3 times a week, and I couldn't tell you the name of any of those people. I know who they are when I see
I know
them
by their face.
Yeah.
And at this point,
the owner of that 7-Eleven, phenomenal woman, by the way. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Love her. She's awesome.
Well, over the Exxon, I've got a few complaints. I don't like to have to worry about the Hep A. I don't want to be dodging viruses on my way in the door.
So let me see. So these are some symptoms of the Hep.
Yeah, okay. Walk me through.
Now I'm not going to sing them as you requested. As Mary Poppins
or Sound of Music.
Jaundice. You don't look a little yellow.
Okay, I'm all
You
right.
look a little pale, but I think that's always. Do you have a fever?
No, but I feel lightheaded.
Do you have fatigue?
Yes. All the time.
Do you have a loss of appetite? Well, you don't even eat real food, so how would you know when you're hungry?
Have I lost weight?
No. I mean, we just had a whole conversation during the break about what you eat and don't eat as this quasi-pescatarian.
I am technically a pescatarian, so I eat a lot of veggies. Yeah.
And nausea. Are you nauseous?
Yeah, but I eat a lot of veggies, so that's probably why.
Are you suffering from vomiting?
Well, not at the moment. You're looking at me right now.
Abdominal pain?
Only when I crunch some abs, man.
Okay, now I'm nauseous. Okay, so here's the most important thing, and I really don't even
You better
want to
not
know
ask
the
me
answer
this
to
highly
this.
personal question. You better not ask me.
Do you have dark urine or light-colored stools?
How dare you?
I have an orange stool in my kitchen. Is that light-colored?
Symptoms of hepatitis A include collecting clay-colored furniture. Yeah. Light-colored furniture. Or dark-colored urine.
Well, we were talking about this during the break as you picked up your cup of tea that you have in your hand, and you're looking at it as I'm saying, dark urine. And you're like, oh.
It's lemon ginger tea, so that wasn't really a great time to be drinking that tea. I think I'm all right, but these symptoms also don't show themselves for a while. So I really should get the test if I was really – I would get the test for this if I had actually eaten a deli sandwich or anything like that. I haven't had a sandwich there. I don't think I've ever had a sandwich there. Because I think the only gas station – I do eat egg salad gas station sandwiches. I shouldn't, but I do every once in a while. But never
I'm going to start making you egg salad. Because egg salad is one of my favorite foods, and I love egg salad. And it's funny because Tim loves it. Josh cannot stand the smell.
Oh, really? So eggs like that, when you are hard boiling eggs and mashing them.
He cannot stand the smell. So whenever he would tick me off or annoy me over the top.
Passive-aggressive egg salad.
Egg salad for dinner.
Boom.
Every time. And he moved out. I mean, not because of egg salad, but we haven't had egg salad nearly as often because I forget about it unless I'm annoyed with Josh. So I will start making you just send me a text the night before and say, hey, egg salad for tomorrow, and I will make you, I'll even get Lonnie to do the eggs. It'll be a whole station thing.
And you can send me a text, Josh is annoyed, and I won't pack lunch.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. But stop eating Subway is as close to a takeout sandwich as I have ever eaten anywhere. I've never had a Sheetz MTO. I've never gotten a sandwich at a gas station.
This has taught me something. And Sheetz are usually decently clean.
That's what I hear, but no.
But I mean, just anywhere. I'm not doing it anymore. It's too risky. Even this pre-sealed stuff. I mean, if the guy's hands on the bag and if he's like, I don't know, licking his own fingers and I mean, I don't want to label gas station attendants, but.
Yeah, we've all seen a CSI episode at some point in our lives. We know that is not the best place to go and eat anything.
Sometimes. I mean, they're all really nice people.
I don't even eat 7-Eleven pizza.
Well, yeah, that's not pizza,
or hot
though.
dogs.
Is that really pizza?
Have you seen some of those hot dogs?
I don't think they count. I don't think they count as hot dogs or pizza. I think it's like elongated
That's a whole
spam
other food group.
And yeah. You can't count it. Oh,
but you can still go because, it says if those who ate fresh food at that location and were exposed may still benefit from a vaccine or immune globulin that can prevent hepatitis A if they receive it within 2 weeks.
But it's like a shot, right?
Yeah.
I hate needles, man. I hate needles.
Just close your eyes.
Then I will have nausea.
Yeah. Well, I'll take you to get the little vaccine. You can close your eyes and open your mouth, and I'll shove an egg salad sandwich in your face as she's shoving the needle in your arm. Will that make you feel better? Will that be a good distraction?
Well put. And I'm just there screaming through it. Oh, well, I think that's...
I don't think you have the hep. I just think you're overworked, you're underpaid.
And I think what we're going to start doing is we'll get yellow paint swatches and we'll just hold them up to my arm and review the progress.
Totally doing that.
Let's do it. Let's put them up in my office
we'll
and we'll take pictures week by week and see how I'm doing. And we can post them on our social media.
Yeah, we're totally doing that. I'm stopping at Lowe's on the way home and getting every yellow paint swatch they have.
Hashtag Dilly got the hep. Look it up. It's going to be on Twitter. We'll post photos daily. And you can monitor my hepatitis progress.
Mom, you really got to do something with this kid. Dilly got the hep.
Dilly got the hep. And with that, I think we can close another episode of Another
I think we could have closed it out 15 minutes ago, but okay.
Join us next week when my symptoms set in.